Lately, I've been hearing a tale of two Californias. There's the tale of one California that's a beacon of progress. California is diverse, innovative, wealthy. California has the fourth or fifth or sixth largest economy in the world, depending on which source you want to trust. That's right, the economy of California is just exploding with wealth and prosperity. I'm sure most people will credit California's economic progress to the builders and producers, like Silicon Valley, big oil, agriculture, theme parks and tourism, the import-export industry, Hollywood, venture capitalism, and the financial industries that use the wealth created to invest in other businesses.
No, of course not.
Nope. California's economic success is all thanks to the brilliant progressive planning by the state and local governments. That's right. Without intelligent liberal overlords, California would be a total dump. Or maybe California is already a total dump? Because when it comes to the tale of the other California, the California that is currently experiencing a housing crisis, rampant homelessness and poverty, increasing costs of living, and ballooning debt, well, then it's anything but the brilliant economic planners that run the progressive paradise. No. According to progressive superhero Bernie Sanders, the reason why people like Disneyland workers are struggling is because of big corporations like Disney and their greedy CEOs who are unwilling to share their wealth. Yeah, the high cost of living in California has nothing to do with the fact that the state has some of the highest sales taxes and income taxes in the country, meaning less income and higher costs for goods and services. The cost of owning a vehicle is higher than every other state except for Michigan, thanks in large part to high gas taxes, insurance rates, and registration fees. Now, these taxes and regulatory burdens are not such a big deal if you're rich, but if you're middle class or poor,
good luck.
What's the progressive solution to California's woes? You guessed it, higher taxes and more regulations! State lawmakers have proposed raising the corporate tax rate in California, already amongst the highest in the nation, to offset President Trump's national corporate tax cuts. Yeah, can't have corporations making too much money in California. Governor Jerry Brown just signed off on a couple of bills that will fine water districts for consuming too much water. That's right, folks. Be careful of how much piss and shit you flush down the toilet, because the state might fine your local water district. Or your water bill might go up if just your neighbors use too much water. Either way, you're probably going to start paying more for water pretty soon. Also mandates that new houses be built with solar panels, which will just drive up the cost of constructing houses even more. Not to mention the various other regulations that currently discourage the building of new housing. No big deal though. It's not like there's a severe shortage of housing causing people to flee the state for greener pastures or just live on the street. Add to that tax increases on cigarettes, mandatory fees for bags at the grocery store, having to buy permits to park on the street, shit, having to pay to park anywhere, and much more. And sure, many of these taxes don't seem like a big deal in of themselves. But after every little thing gets taxed and regulated, it all adds up after a while. And again, if you're a high roller in Silicon Valley, Hollywood, downtown Los Angeles, or Orange County, These expenses are a minor inconvenience, but it's becoming difficult, if not impossible, to survive off a less than six-figure income, especially if you're raising a family. Sidewalk tents are becoming more common in Hollywood. People are forced far from the city into longer commutes. But hey, at least California has the fifth largest economy and the most woke population in America. Honestly, California deserves all of this. What did you morons think was gonna happen when you constantly vote up taxes and make everything illegal? I don't know if they teach math in California public schools, but here's a little secret. Raising taxes makes everything more expensive. When you vote for feel-good regulations in effort to help the environment and combat climate change, guess what? Those regulations will have a cost. As one of the articles I mentioned earlier said, roughly half the cost of building new housing is jumping through regulatory hoops and abiding by new building codes. But by all means, keep bragging about how California has such a large economy just to stick it to Trump and all of the MAGA-tards as if it's due to brilliant economic planning from statist pieces of crap. No, California has a strong economy thanks to the builders and producers who work in spite of the high taxes and regulations because California is still hip, beautiful, and a fun place to live. Although I'm not sure how much longer that will last. California has the fifth largest economy. Guess what? California would have the largest economy if everyone was not being taxed and regulated to death. Imagine how much stronger and booming California's economy would be if there was more construction and housing being built. If you tried California's economic policies in Texas, Arizona, or Montana, it would be a total catastrophe. But don't listen to me. Listen to the thousands of Californians that have fled to Vegas, Texas, Arizona, and other places the last couple of years. Even Hollywood filmmakers for the last 2 decades have opted for tax credit havens like Michigan, New Mexico, and Georgia to save cash. Anyway, have fun spending 60% of your highly taxed income on rent while shelling out more cash for gas, grocery bags, cigarettes, non-GMO kale, clean water, and any good or service produced by a corporation. At least you'll be able to virtue signal about how you saved a few sea turtles by voting to ban plastic straws.